And welcome back, everybody. Today, we actually got a very, very special video, which is something I honestly did not feel like I was going to cover. I didn't feel like, it was probably a little bit special. I probably said, let's give it a little bit more time. But you know what? There's definitely things like this that are going to happen once in a while that actually catch my attention and make me want to definitely give my 2 cents or my personal opinion when it comes to these things, which is what you're going to see right now. The title of the article that actually caught my eye because I knew about it, but you know what, this article pretty much kind of makes it clickbaity, and I liked it. And compared to IGN and other websites, it literally kind of states what a lot of people were thinking, which is Days Gone director boldly blames cheap gamers for canceled sequel. Now, for those that are not aware of the situation, there was an interview recently with John Gavin, which is the writer and co-director of Days Gone, a game that came out last year that I personally, kind of saw but didn't really buy or anything, so I can't really be the best person to judge this. According to John Gavin, apparently, if I didn't buy it full game, if I didn't buy the game full price, I'd forget about it. I shouldn't be complaining about it if I ended up liking it afterwards, which you're going to get a hint of later on. I'm actually going to buy the game, but on PC. But anyway, back to the point. Basically, what's going on in this interview, and this is where it gets very, very, very spicy, in other words, is that he actually made a comment that I think hit quite a lot of people, because this comment wasn't just a simple bypass, like, some people do this, some people do that. He basically told a lot of people what they should be doing. Which is actually a very big problem in the game industry right now. And I'm going to read you the comment. And it said, if you love a game, buy it at effing full price. I can't tell you how many times I've seen gamers say, yeah, I got that on sale. I got it through PS Plus, whatever. Now, let me just stop you right there. What's wrong with buying a game on sale? Like, honestly, I got a question. Why can't I buy a game on sale? Like, realistically, I understand, like, the financial aspect. Like, we are in an industry led by numbers, and I know a lot of developers kind of want to hear the tagline: X number of copies sold within the first 24 hours, this many dollars recouped within a couple of days. For example, Cyberpunk 2077 recouped all its money pretty early on. But again, I'm going to ask the question: what's wrong with buying a game on sale? What's wrong with buying a game $10 off, $20 off, 50% off? Let's just put it this way. And I never thought I was going to quote, the Fast and Furious franchise here. But in Tokyo Drift, Han actually says the following. And you know what? It's actually a very good quote. I enjoyed. 50% of something is way better than 100% of nothing. And I'm paraphrasing, but I think that's something John can basically agree on. Because at the end of the day, his sequel that he pitched might have been turned down. But you know what? If something that I've learned in 2021 and 2020 is that if you get enough people to, kind of support your idea or support something, demand is going to be there, and you know what? Supply is going to follow. Like, you know what? You didn't get your game pitched, and sold within the first year. Because I guarantee you, he's probably going to try again. Like, God, I hope so anyway. I really, really do hope that he doesn't give up on this idea. I think Days Gone has a very good premise. I saw a lot of Let's Plays and stuff like that since I didn't own the game. But you know what? I actually enjoyed it near the end. I actually saw a bunch of Let's Plays just to get a little bit more feel of the game. And the world is indeed very interesting for me. It's particular, I'll be honest, it's probably not the best for me because, I'm kind of getting fed up with this whole zombie stuff. And, Last of Us 2 kind of like left me on a very special place. So I don't think I really want to deal with stuff like that anymore, at least for a while. But anyway, we continue with the article itself, which, again, this is where it gets a little bit spicier, I would say. Which is the fact that, for me, honestly, I think he kind of lost my trust when it came to this, was the fact when he started comparing God of War 2 Days Gone. And he said the following here. He said, it's like God of War got whatever number millions of sales at launch, and Days Gone didn't. Again, why are you comparing God of War, man? Why are you comparing God of War? You're literally saying that game that's been since 2005. By the way, look at it. I actually took a screenshot because I wanted to know when the game came out. That's franchise has been going on for years. That I guarantee you, a lot of people that bought God of War 2018 probably didn't start with God of War 1. Some of them probably, started with God of War 2 and 3 like I did. And you know what? And probably bought God of War 2018 when they got the chance because they heard so much stuff on it. Again, that's word of mouth, which this game apparently got a lot of later on. The article confirms, and I can confirm myself as well. And he continues, just speaking for me personally as a developer, I don't work for Sony. I don't know what the numbers are. again, you don't know the numbers, but you're willing to take a big step here and be, kind of like, I don't want to say he's trying to be, kind of like, or he's kind of like trying to get the audacity to say this, but in other words, you're kind of making a bold statement here. You're literally comparing God of War to like, Days Gone, which I think at this point you probably should have stopped and should have thought about it for a second. Because at the end of the day, I kind of understand your point. I kind of understand where he was going at, but you can't compare God of War. Forget about it. It's like me comparing Halo. It's like me making a game and saying, you know what, Halo always sold this much, or Halo's gonna, yeah, because it's a franchise since 2001, buddy. It's literally a lot of reasons. What probably has a lot of reasons why a lot of people bought the original Xbox for it, just because of that game. I know my friend did. I know I did. I bought an Xbox for that as well. But anyway, we continue this. He does have a good point when it comes to the sales. There's something I will have to agree with him. Sales are important, but you know what? Sales aren't always the biggest thing, because again, look at Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League. The sales were like whatever, but people started saying, you know what, I want to see that Snyder cut. I want to see it, and you know what, it came to be. But you know what, it didn't come in within a year. I gotta say, when it comes to these things, you know what, be a little bit patient, and I understand why he's being this passionate, which is the word I'm gonna use, because and I'm gonna get to it at the end of the article here, and at the end of the video. Because there's something very important about this person. He's the writer and creator. And let's be honest, when you create something, it's, it kind of hits close to home. But anyway, we continue with the article itself, which honestly brings up a very good point. It kind of brings up a couple points here when it talks about, when it comes to like, selling and basically, how, there's an issue right now in the pre-release culture and stuff like that. Again, I do encourage everybody to read the article itself, because I'm trying not to like go too much into detail, because the article is a little bit, kind of like biased, and I would say like not too biased, but it does make a big difference here. And it also brings up the fact that games are getting expensive. So there's one thing I personally can't agree with, is the fact that buy it at full price, or don't buy it at all, or if you do buy it at like 50%, which I'm gonna post a tweet he made here, which to be honest, I kind of like didn't really enjoy. It's the following, and I'm gonna read it to you guys. It says, so if you don't like a game, it's buggy. If it's buggy, sorry. If you listen to reviewers' opinions, if you think games cost too much, more power to you. Just don't buy it on sale a year later, discover you love it, and wonder why a sequel never got made. Now, okay, I gotta admit here, this is basically, honestly, there's a lot of double standards here, because you know what? I think I would rather have something discovered later on. Okay? Now look at famous paintings, those avant-garde paintings like Van Gogh, and Paul Gauguin and stuff like that, Matisse. A lot of these art only got recognized later on, because, word of mouth, and because people only got to appreciate later. Now, I'm not saying Days Gone is a masterpiece. I'll be honest, I saw the trailers, I saw everything. I didn't feel like buying it the day it came out, Let me give you another example of, buying something full price to support the developers and everything like that. I bought Destiny, okay? I kid you not. I went and I waited in line, okay, 2 hours and a half, 3 almost, to get my Ghost Edition, which I was lucky. I got really lucky, and I'm actually getting a Ghost Edition, okay? And you know what? I paid full price for that Ghost Edition. I still have the Ghost here in my room. But you know what? After playing Destiny, I didn't buy Destiny 2. I literally did not feel like buying Destiny 2. And this is Bungie we're talking about. This is a company that I literally always bought their games full price. Halo 1, 2, Reach. Okay? ODST even. And you know what? All it took was one game that I found very mediocre, repetitive, to make me lose their trust. Now for Days Gone, I kid you not, I saw it and I didn't tell myself, this is a game I want to buy right away. Horizon Zero Dawn, same thing. I looked at it and I said, you know what? Robot dinosaurs, oh, primitive people, oh. But you know what? I ended up playing, Horizon Zero Dawn. And it was it was an amazing game. The story itself was amazing. And you know what? As soon as it comes out, I'm probably going to buy it full price. But it took that whole trial and error, that whole, you know what? I'm not going to buy it the first day. I'm going to wait a little bit just to get it. Okay? And you know what? I would personally rather play a game, enjoy it, and not get a sequel than just play a game, be like, meh, get a sequel, and then probably never buy it. Because you know what? I found it to be meh. I found it to be okay. Which is honestly a very good point here, because at the end of the day, guys, let's be honest. it is an industry. The whole point of making a game is literally to sell, in a sense. It's not just to please people, because let's be honest, you know what? If everybody gave us what we wanted, chances are we'll probably get bored of it right away and kind of not care about it anymore. All right. But talking about numbers here, I'm going to give him a little bit of credit here, and I think this is something he's probably didn't take into consideration, or he probably, forgot about, or he probably heard about but didn't care. But believe it or not, here on Gematsu, believe it or not, Days Gone actually outsold any other games. Literally, I kid you not. According to Sunny Data Interactive Entertainment, Days Gone for PlayStation 4 opened at 114,319 physical copies sold, and the Switch version of Square Enix, Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age. Again, I'm not the best at Roman. I think it's 12. Sold at 20,366 copies, and it literally came one day apart. And we're talking about Final Fantasy here, okay? Like, a lot of people will literally just buy it for the name itself. And this is something a lot of people are not talking about. I didn't hear any other articles like IGN mention this at all. And you know what? This is something very important to mention, that, for some people, they're literally going to go for this. They're going to be like, oh, this is definitely something I want. I like the whole country aspect. I like the whole zombie horde and stuff like that, and they're going to buy it. Now, again, I also want to point out to the tweets made by John Garvin himself. He does have a very, very strong opinion when it comes to this. You can clearly see he's passionate about this. And you know what? I really understand. Like, I completely understand that this is where I want to bring to this video, because I don't want to make it too long either, and I do want you guys to make your own opinions when it comes to this. But you can clearly tell this is someone that's very passionate. And when I mean passionate, I mean very dedicated to what he wants. And I want to use the word passionate here because, you know what? To be this specific, to be this, kind of like, for some people would say, angry, people didn't buy the game, because he also talks about piracy, but I really don't want to cover that, because piracy is something that's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, and you know what? That's a whole video for itself. That's a whole topic for something else. Piracy is gonna happen. He gives an example of something else that has nothing to do with Days Gone. But anyway, this is a man that's very passionate, because like I said earlier briefly, this is something he built from the ground up. And during his interview, and I strongly encourage you guys to see the interview, I'm going to link in the bottom below, he explains how, like, a lot of stuff he took credit for. He said, yeah, I messed up, I effed up, this is mine. But there's also another thing he pointed out, which was, like, the whole side quest and stuff. And he's like, yeah, you know what, this was already based, this was already built, and it was too late to remove. No. And then he gives an example of, like, how, a story's built with these, arcs or sets, and if you take one of them, it doesn't make sense. But you know what? I saw a lot of the walkthroughs that I saw, the gameplays, the let's plays, and I do agree, a lot of it is repetitive. So you know what? Why not just cut at least lower the amount of it? I'm not saying cut it completely, like take this and X and Y off. No. For Cyberpunk, a lot of it was repetitive, but the reason why I found it boring is because it was too much of it. You know what? I would rather have done this whole, capture this guy in a base by knocking him out or killing him and dragging him out to the car maybe every once in a while, than like in every zone I basically have 3 of these done. Or the other ones, which was basically go to this area and kill everybody. For me, that was a little bit too repetitive. Maybe make it a little bit, stealthier, like sneak around. Tell me which guy's the gang leader. Try to see if you can maybe intimidate him through speech, or maybe, like, if, for example, street cred. This is one thing I think it would have been good. If your background played a major role, and stuff like that. And there was very few side missions in Cyberpunk that really stood out for me and actually made me go out of my way. Like, one of them was a painting from outer space. Like, a capsule lands, and you basically have to go get a painting that was landed from the moon or something like that. That was an amazing side quest. And you know what? Quality will always beat quantity at any day, But anyway, let's go. Let's just not to make this too long again, because I kind of got off topic for here for a second. I don't blame John Gavin, like, Garvin, actually. Holy crap, I've been calling him the wrong name the whole time, so I do apologize for that. When it comes to things like this, he's a very passionate guy, and I don't blame him, because at the end of the day, this is his baby. This is his own project, A to Z. This is someone who put in their time, their patience, and their ideas into making something that regretfully ended up not being as good as he wanted it to be. Now, I'm not an artist in any way, but I have been in situations where I've presented work to people, and it just wasn't the cup of tea for anyone. And I'll be honest, I kind of sucked, because I did write a lot. I wrote a lot of my own stuff, in the past and stuff like that, but not everybody enjoyed it. A lot of people were like, oh, you know what, this is not my meh. And I'm not talking about, like, simple stuff. I'm talking about, like, like, not full-fledged novels, but short stories. I wrote a lot of short stories because of the program I was in school required me to actually write a lot of short stories. But you know, at the end of the day, it wasn't my cup of tea, and I took it very personally when someone said this was boring. And I think that's the worst thing you can tell someone. This one's boring. And I think John Garvin here was basically mentioning something when it comes to this, to his quote. You know, buy it at full effing price. Okay, listen here. I understand what you're saying, but that's a fallacy right there. Because again, you don't have to buy it at full price to enjoy it. You know, a lot of people are only gonna buy this at 50% off and end up enjoying it. And you know what? It's chances are it's those people that are gonna voice their opinion. They're encourage other people to buy this game. Like that's what happened to me. I wasn't gonna buy it originally, but then I heard it was gonna come out on PC through a friend, and I'm like, yeah, that game's worth. Yeah, I'm gonna go buy it. I'm gonna go buy it on PC actually. You know what? And again, it's word of mouth that's really gonna make a difference down the line. Because if you look at Zack Snyder, look what happened when demand is there. People, you know, bent over backwards to get what the people wanted. And you know what? You might not get it this year. Your game might not be made this year. But I guarantee you, if you get Sony to come crawling back to you, crying, saying, please, John, make us the, you know, Days Gone 2, I beg you. You know, I guarantee you, you're probably going to slap him across the face and then be like, yeah, give me a better deal, I might do it. You know what? And chances are, I guarantee you, you'll take it. Because I really doubt you're that vindictive. I really doubt you're going to be like, hey, you know what? No, you said no to me once, I'm going to say no to you. Nah, I don't believe in that. Because I see a passionate person here. I see someone that actually wanted something, made it, wasn't as best as it could have been. After all, there was a bunch of bugs, the reviews were like meh, and for me the appeal just didn't appeal to me, but it doesn't stop me from buying the game or buying the game later on. Again, I'm going to finish this video with a quote that I think he probably will agree on, which is the following: people won't remember what you told them or what you said, but they'll remember how you made them feel. And I think right now a lot of people are feeling disrespected just because they didn't buy the game at full price. Like you said, you're basically telling them, hey, you didn't buy it full price, you didn't support the developers. Well, you know what? I disagree. And I guarantee you, down the line, if we do see a dead Days Gone 2, it's going to be because of those people that probably bought it on 50% off or 40% off, or probably end up playing it for free. Because it's things like that, you know, it's people like that you're going to end up building and following with. People like that actually end up going to recommend the game, like in my case. Anyway, this was Critical Chris, and I wish you guys a good night. Bye-bye.